On today's show, I got another one of those stories that could go the entire hour. So just strap yourselves in for this one because I gave the gift of hearing over the weekend and I have it on video. There is proof. Do not come at me, bro, because this actually happened. And I'm so excited to tell you guys this story. It's heartwarming. It's unbelievable. And it's one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me as a DJ. We'll do that. Belly's got news from here in DC. None of us are going to have to tip anymore. And we're so freaking excited about it. Belly's mad. I'm happy. Potts is about to fire off. Brax is in the house. It's all coming up next on Luch Dog in the Morning. So strap it on, folks, from TTR Studios.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Skater D.
Hey, I'm John Charles Meyer, producer of Dave Made a Maze.
Hey, what's up? This is Scott Ladotti, author of Play the Devil, and you are listening to Luch Dog.
Luch Dog.
Luch Dog.
This is Andy fucking Cruz from SiriusXM 415, and you're listening to Luch Dog in the Morning.
#1 podcast in the world. Yeah, boy.
Welcome back, folks. That is boy Luch Dog in the Morning. Excited to rock out with you. We've got a big one planned today. You cannot wait. Matty Potts joins us from the Santa Monica newsroom. Hello, brother. How are we feeling today?
Greetings and salutations. Feeling good.
He's up. He's ready with the sun. I'm going out there soon. I was telling him in the pre-show I'm not happy about it because it means I got to get up at the ass crack of dawn to do things with him from his store Marinate. Belly will be back here in the studio from Studio A. Belly, Matt LaBelle, what's up, man?
Not much. How you doing today,
I'm
folks?
good,
Glad to be
dude.
here.
We have you've got a lot planned for us. You got a whole story to start the thing off.
Are we going to start with me?
I will tease it, and then we are going to start with you today. Of course, we got Brax and Blue. What's up, Brax? We going for a ride later?
How we doing? Yes, we are. You know us.
I can't wait, man. We're going to do it in about an hour and 10 minutes. We will go for a ride. We've got to take some video for all of our one-wheel folks, but that is for Tuesdays. You know this is Luch Dog in the Morning. Of course, we're going to give $100 away today. We didn't even talk about how we are going to do that, so we will discuss in our first break, and we will have that for you in the middle of the show. All right, look, we got a big story. I literally gave the gift of hearing. It happened, and I will get into that, but I have a feeling once I get going, I'm going to get going. So we want to clear some space here because Belly's got some news. It's really fascinating. So can you just take us through Initiative 77, please?
So Initiative 77 here in D.C. is something actually that's been passed pretty much in the entire East Coast, including California. That's why I want to talk to Potts about this. Initiative 77 is a referendum really to increase the minimum wage for workers in the service industry like bartenders and servers, which will eventually by 2026 they're going to gradually increase this minimum wage from $3.33, what it currently is, to $15, which is the city's minimum wage.
Now, with that being said, already, Potts, do you have any thoughts on that and feelings?
I mean, as far as, now that I'm a tipped employee myself bartending at a nightclub, I'm all for it. As a small business owner, I want to jump off a fucking bridge. But like right now, it's 10 for people because they're not tipped. So at Marinate, it's $10.50, but it's going up to like 15, and I think eventually 20 or something at some point. But yeah, no, it's quickly creeping up to 15. And look, I am extremely opinionated on it because, of course, I want people to be able to afford to live, but obviously, if you work at McDonald's, should you be able to afford your family of 3 and pay for it? No. I mean, it's not a job that's supposed to be a fucking career. It's not a job that you're supposed to say, hey, I work at McDonald's, I'm going to have 2 kids and then complain about not being able to pay my bills. No, that's not how it is at all. And I mean, if the problem is people just have kids and then they blame the government or blame their employer for not being able to afford it. And that doesn't make any fucking sense. And of course, people are going to get all their panties in a bunch of like, well, we should be able to have a family. It's like, well, then fine. Then go get a job that pays you more. You can't expect to afford a family flipping fucking burgers.
Now, the question becomes, he makes a really good point. Obviously, I knew this was going to fire him up. I'm just going to be mediator. This is going to be basically Belly and Potts back and forth this whole segment. But Belly, not everybody has that opportunity to get a better job.
I mean,
Then don't have kids.
I'm not saying,
But not everybody makes the choice to have kids either. So then what?
Well, then that's your problem. What do you mean you don't make the choice? Of course you make the fucking choice to have kids.
I love you as a brother, man. You
about?
didn't.
Yeah, but I chose not to use a condom, and I chose not to pull out. That's my own fucking problem, and now you deal with it. And now you know what I'm doing? I'm getting a second job to be able to afford a family. I'm working around the fucking clock.
not only that, like this two-income household.
It's okay. Give it to him. Give him the touchdown first, because I want everybody to know that I appreciate what you're saying. But some people might say white privilege. Not everybody can get a second job.
White privilege? I'm a bartender. How is that fucking white privilege? And you know what? I worked in the nightclub business for 20 years, and you know what it's led up to? A bartending job that I was very fortunate to get. And it was based on my 20 years of experience in management and nightclubs. That's why they gave me the job. That's because of my past. It had nothing to do with being white, for sure. And it had to be with knowing a lot of people, being in the right place at the right time. And I have a resume to back it up. So go fuck yourself.
Exactamundo. So what Potts is really pointing out is, and what's the bigger concern for me, and what is actually, like, the studies have shown, like, so they've pretty much legalized or done this on the entire west coast of the states.
Oh,
like
this is already okay.
Washington, Oregon, California, all these places have done this. Now, the fear of this kind of thing in the service industry side of things is eventually people think in your mindset, we don't have to tip anymore.
That's the first thing that I heard. Well, isn't that how you started this conversation with telling me you don't have to tip anymore?
No, I didn't start it with that. I said they're increasing the minimum wage for service employees, which for tipped employees. The thing is,
oh, that's not how you said it to me.
Eventually, the mindset will become we don't have to tip.
Is that what the employers are going for? Are they trying to make our customers feel like we don't have to tip the waiters anymore?
The problem for employers is unless you're a franchisee, unless you have the income that creates the ability to pay employees a minimum wage, because here's the thing. I always joke with customers. This is my main joke with customers. This is why you, and I point directly at them and say, this is why you pay me the big bucks and not them. Because I'm here for you, not them. But that's going to change completely when the fact is most heavy or long-time bartenders are going to get out of this game because $15 isn't enough. Because they make much, much more than $15 a minimum wage.
Potts isn't pulling in $1,200 with $15 an hour.
In 10 years, I want to know. I'm very interested to figure out in these states that have already legalized it and these places that have already legalized it, what are these bartenders going to be making now when people are going to start finally getting into the mindset? They know now that you're making $15 an hour. They're not going to tip you 20% anymore. That tip percentage is going to go down to 15, back to 15. Then it's going to go to 10. Then it's going to 5.
Potts, shouldn't it?
Well, so I mean, I think it's really based on the region because here in LA, people don't tip that well, period. I mean, people don't tip. So, I mean, I think it's like a cultural thing.
He's like, Luch, come move out here. People don't tip. It's great.
They don't, but so okay, so but it depends. So we have a thing at Academy, the nightclub I bartend at, where if a check is $60 or more, we auto grad 18%. We're already talking about lowering that. So the solution is quite simple: auto grad. Yeah. Another thing is I'm also, when I'm like getting all fired up, I'm actually talking about something totally different, which is like minimum wage employees. And in that respect, there are, because I know I'm going to get blown up for saying like McDonald's, if you have 50 or more employees and you're like a franchise, like Belly was saying, you're already held to a higher standard where you have to pay more. And a lot of these rules don't apply to me as a small business owner, but minimum wage for me is increasing. And you have to, like, I signed a 10-year lease for a space. In 5 years, when the minimum wage has gone from, let's say, $10 to $15 an hour, the lease that I signed is based on certain sales projections and on certain overhead, for labor being the main one. So how am I supposed to make money when the labor has increased by 50% in 5 years, and I still have 5 years on my lease, which is also increasing by 3 to 5% a year?
Potts, so you're right.
If you want me, now you want people to fight, that's great. I employ people. I provide jobs, which I can't do if I'm out of business.
Right, and that's why I wanted to to say you're not wrong for getting fired up over this. Like, I love where your passion comes from. A lot of the rules that we're talking about don't apply to a small business. Like when we said, like, a lot of people were getting on Potts because he was saying there's no way he could afford maternity leave for an employee. Well, of course he couldn't. He only has 4 employees, and that law only applies to people with 50 employees or more.
Right.
So
you know what I do? I keep all my employees at part-time, so I don't get into any kind of full-time. So it's like literally what I do is I keep my employees at I just regulate the hours. So instead of paying these certain things, I just keep my employees under certain hours. And that's what every employer is going to do. And that's what big companies do as well. So they don't get stuck paying health insurance and maternity leave. They just keep you at 32 hours or less. Like, there's a loophole for all of this.
So Braxton, that there is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, so now you have employees that cannot pay. The reason that a lot of people can't make their bills is because they're kept at 30 hours, so they don't hit full time. And so you can't say, look, I just want to work. I don't care about all this, like the health benefits. I'm not going to have a kid. I don't need maternity leave. I just want to work. And that's not going to happen, because the second you hit certain thresholds of hours per week, you're qualified for things that employers aren't going to pay you.
So from the Social Media Lounge, you absolutely have white privilege. Being white helped you get to where you are.
Fuck off.
Some people don't even get a foot in the door or a chance to move up based on things like race.
Hold on, Potts. We're going to give you a chance to respond. Hold on. No one can hear you yet. Hold on. No one can hear. Hold on.
School, I was working my fucking ass off security, getting off at 7 a.m., living with my fucking dad. So fuck you and your white fucking privilege, motherfucker.
I knew that was going to fire him up. It's probably his sister that's
fucking shit I've ever fucking heard.
It's probably his sister that's calling him on that, I would imagine.
She's fucking ignorant as fuck. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard.
Okay, can you start? Okay, easy. Reel it in. Can you start the beginning of that rant? Because I had you muted, and I was trying to get you to stop so I could bring you up to start from. Why did that just bother you so much without calling our listeners ignorant?
He's worked hard.
Because I worked my fucking ass off. I started at the bottom.
He's failed businesses.
I didn't get hired as a director
in businesses.
of fucking operations for a nightclub. I started at the bottom, working the security at Nation Nightclub in DC, sitting on a chair in front of a fucking bathroom till 6 in the morning. While all of my friends were out going to school, wasting their parents' fucking money on tuition, I lived with my dad. I drove a half hour to work one way, and I would drive back home. And I remember Monday morning, as I was driving home out of DC into Woodbridge, I'd see all the cars going into their 9-to-5 jobs. Yep. And I would laugh because I felt sorry for him. I was doing something that I liked, but it was not easy. And it took me 20 years to now get this sweet ass bartending gig so I can work that 3 days a week and then work Marinate full fucking time, where I'm not paying myself, but I'm paying all of my employees that I am employing. So fuck you and your white fucking privilege.
All right, so that is I
employed at Sumo Salad in 1 year. I went through 75 employees. I had 25 employees on the roster at one time. Most first-time jobs, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and I paid to train these motherfuckers.
I think that you have no reason to apologize for anything that you said.
And when you own your own fucking business, then you can fucking weigh in on the fucking Social Media Lounge. But fucking sign some fucking paychecks.
But I think when you come at it with that tone, you lose them. Even though you're right, you lose them.
I don't care. Because they're ignorant as fuck. When you say something like that and you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about and you don't own a business, you do not get an opinion. Fuck you.
Do you? Okay, take a deep breath, because I'm not trying to calm you down. I just want a rational thought here. Is it easy? You obviously have a problem with people claiming white privilege. Obviously, white privilege exists. I
don't have health insurance. I don't. How fucking white? I do not have fucking health insurance.
I know.
And I employ people.
I know. And that's why I'm saying white privilege exists for sure. But I think it's easy to just claim, well, you're in a good place. You've got an opportunity. That's white privilege. And he's saying, excuse me. Just because I'm white doesn't mean I didn't work my fucking ass off to get here. And I think that's fair to say.
I turned 40 this week, and I live in a fucking 400 square foot studio. Tell me how fucking white privilege I am. I live in a fucking college dorm room practically. So go fuck yourself.
So today in the social... Go ahead.
No, I do it because I'm making a sacrifice to do something better with my life. No one was handing me a goddamn thing.
So today in the social media lounge, we are handing out beatdowns. Is what we're serving.
Cans of fucking whoop-ass is what we're fucking handing
Big
out.
6-pack of cans of
open,
whoop-ass. Belly, what's happening in there for right now? Are they
I
mad
don't
at us
know where
now?
to go. I don't know which one to say.
Pick 'em
I
up.
don't know
Just
what.
start reading. Just start reading.
Okay. Let's see. In between some other things, we have tipping is weird as AF, or tipping is weird AF.
Yes, it is.
Restaurants should have to pay employees minimum wage at least. Why do customers have to pay their salary?
Can I interject? The social media lounge, who's clearly firing us up today and doing their jobs.
This is a different person.
That's okay. I'm wondering, Braxton Blue, let's get you in here. Put that mic near you.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes, please.
America is one of the only countries that tips. Also, where do you draw the line? You don't tip at Walmart. You don't tip a Walmart cashier, but expected to tip the people at an ice cream shack.
Fantastic question. Now, my mom was talking to me because I was mentioning this whole wedding that I'm about to get into. And we were talking about tips, and she was like, do people actually usually tip you for a wedding? And I said, it's about half and half. But I want to know carryout. If Braxton Blue, you go to carryout, you go to, Outback Steakhouse and you get it to go, you order it carryout, you show up, you drive there, you go to the carryout aisle or counter. Are you tipping there? And if so, how much? What percentage?
No, you don't tip on carryout. They didn't serve you.
Social media lounge. Is he wrong? Because I know somebody who worked in carryout, and her argument was, yeah, I make $8 an hour, but I bag all that up for you. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't get your food. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't make $213. Your job for $8.
Tip pool. If the cashiers are making tips, that should all be part of a fucking tip pool. So that's an internal problem. If they're just like a hostess at an Outback Steakhouse is part of the tip pool,
right?
They get tipped out. You don't tip a fucking hostess.
So Potts, do you tip on if you order in this situation? Do you tip?
No, fuck no.
Belly?
I would actually not tip.
You don't tip when you go to carryout, not even $1? I usually tip $1 or
Maybe
$2.
$1, but
if they were to walk it to my car or something, which I think they actually do it out
Oh, wow.
Yeah, car side to go. Yeah, I would.
Well, because we've talked about this a lot. We go to Jersey Mike's all the time, and they have a button on the credit card reader when you swipe. They say, okay, now just answer one of the questions, and then it'll.
I'm not tipping them.
And they force you to either click right in front of them, no tip, 10%, 15%. And it's like, I don't like that because this is not a tipping situation. Neither.
And another sorry.
No, go ahead.
Another thing that's completely inappropriate and annoying as fuck when that screen says, do you want to like donate to Hurricane fucking go jerk yourself? And then to take it a step further is when the cashier asks you in front of you, like, oh, would you like to feed the homeless? Actually, I did when I gave the guy sitting out front a fucking $1. So go fuck yourself.
Does it make you feel like, Belly, do you ever feel like when they ask you to do that and your answer makes you feel like, no, I'm just a terrible person? Do you want to donate $1 to cancer? No, I'm awful.
Listen, I don't have that many dollars.
Dude, it's true. I don't
have
if
enough
I
dollars
tip every time
myself.
someone asks me or I got my own fucking problem, financial problems.
You do, and I love I love where your passion comes from. Ideally, we wouldn't just curse out the listeners, but sometimes you gotta just put them in their place, Potts.
And you know what? On Facebook, Facebook could go fuck yourself. So there's this thing now on Facebook when it's your birthday, you can start some like crowdfund for charity. So I went on Facebook and I was gonna do it for myself, but you can't do it for yourself. I wanted to just start a crowdfund for my own, so people can donate to me.
Please donate to me.
A non-profit organization. You can't do it for yourself. So what the fuck's that about?
We are fired up from Studio A and across the land today. I've got this whole story to get to. Belly, way to start us off today. We are just getting started, and we still haven't even figured out how to get you guys your cash. We'll do that all next on Luch Dog in the Morning.
At litmradio.com.
ever wondered to yourself, man, what the fuck am I going to eat today? I got the answer for you right here, folks. It's Marinate Restaurant. You marinateyourlife.com. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go over there. You're going to get yourself some sliders, some bowls, some soups, some tacos, whatever it is, because you know on Tuesdays, those tacos are buy one, get one free. So head over to the Brando store on the corner of Western and Melrose and get yourself some goddamn tacos. Let's go, baby. MarinateYourLife.com. Head over there today for the best food you've never had. Welcome back, folks. Boy, today is a good one. All right. So we have to get into this story I've got for you guys. And the best way to start off is to tell you we're going to pay you to listen. It's the best I got right there.
And one of the funny things from the social media lounge right
There's
now.
a lot happening in the social media
Petco
lounge.
always asks me to donate to save a homeless pet. Like, I literally adopted one. I saved him.
Give them a touchdown for the social media lounge. That's good. All right, so welcome back, folks.
It's like Petco that is like buying animals from farm mills. That's pretty fucking ironic.
That
But
she
whatever.
didn't save it from Petco. She actually saved it from a real
Adoption house. Yeah.
Well,
So
Right, which is what you should do. Good for her.
the voices that you are hearing right now, this is Maddie Potts.
Go fuck yourself.
This is Belly Malabelle.
or not.
And this is Braxton Blue.
Oh. Ew.
Ready for that one?
Oh. Hey, not to divert, but like, if we don't, hopefully Braxton doesn't mind me bringing it up, but he's been posting some kind of cryptic, depressing shit. Is he okay? Is he all right?
Braxton, 30 seconds on the therapist couch. What's going on, man?
Quick. I don't know. I've just been going through some dark shit recently, like starting my own business, and like my love life's kind of in the fucking trash. And,
Do
like,
tell. It's great radio.
How old are you?
I'm 24. No.
Before you kill yourself, could you?
It goes like really deep. It like stems back like throughout my whole life, and all my problems are like kind of coming out at once. And like I just had like this massive breakdown, like the biggest mental breakdown I've ever had in my life. Like,
Whoa.
few days ago, it was fucking gnarly.
24 is
and,
the
like,
age for that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you start realizing you're in a big sea now.
Yeah,
You're
but
out
Small
of college.
fish. Yeah.
anyway, this is the craziest thing about it. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like expose myself too much, but I've been like in some bad shit recently. And I ran into someone later this day. His name is Brandon Novak. He's a former pro skateboarder, former drug addict, but now he like travels around the country speaking to kids in recovery centers and stuff. And I ran into this dude on the street. He's like just happened to be in DC, and he just came through and he watched the skate premiere with me and all my homies, and it was like kind of like this sign for me, you know, like it's not the end of the tunnel. Like,
dude,
if he can make it out, I can too. You know
absolutely. You're just getting started. And if all your problems are from your past are coming to light, that just means you have a huge opportunity to move on and deal with them. So, you know, embrace it. You've got your own skateboard brand, so things are coming for you, man. And obviously, you're the best producer that we've ever had. So clearly that's it. What? You're not a producer.
Belly.
You're a co-host. Belly, get out of here.
He used to call me a producer too.
Oh, that's no. Don't mean it like that. All right, well, you're not standing on the ledge here. I'm trying to walk him back here. Let's just I'm just playing. Brax, we love you, man. That's that.
As long as you're healthy, man, it's all good.
It is.
You
It
know,
really is.
Everything else is fixable as long as you're healthy.
Isn't it fair to say that your your whole 20s are for failing? So don't worry about where you're at when you're in your 20s. Just learn from your mistakes so that you can move on. That's all.
And in my case, my entire 30s was basically contributed to failing, or the last half of my 30s.
Right?
So,
Can we just say Potts' whole life?
Potts is a failure? No.
Yeah, I mean,
no, he's not.
No, Potts. Let me just say,
he
dude,
crushes
like,
it by beating down those failures and moving forward.
You guys have no idea.
You're like a big role model for me, dude. Like, I see you, like, the shit you've been through, too. I know you've been through a lot, and you're fucking crushing it. It's admirable.
A lot of our listeners a lot of our listeners only know him as Marinate, but you don't realize that he ran Lavo nightclub in Australia for years.
No, I opened Lavo in Vegas. I did Liquid for Light Group in Vegas. I opened Marquee Sydney in Australia. I ran Nation nightclub in DC, which was one of the biggest nightclubs on the East Coast at the time.
And I think it's worth saying that you took a 6-figure salary and said, "Go shove! I want to go do my own thing to see if I'll end up getting it off the ground, and I'm going to have to be broke to start it." That's tough.
They put $350,000 in writing for me to go to Lavo Singapore, and I said, "Go shove!" Yeah, and I took Sumo Salad from Australia to the States. I fell flat on my face in a year, lost my house that I owned in Vegas, got a divorce, and now we have Marinate.
And that's where the passion from
the baby
white privilege comes from. That's where, because he's been through a lot. I know that. However, I don't even want to mention that again because I don't want to go there. I have to tell you guys what happened this past weekend. First of all, quick left turn. So this is we're now going in a very different, we're going into weddings. The wedding that I was at was awesome as far as the bride and groom were concerned. They were awesome. Like, they had a great time. This is not a story of them having a terrible wedding. This is the story of why you should absolutely hire me any day of the week for these, because there's nothing I can't handle after this. Potts. This is how, and I don't have a problem telling this story because it wasn't even in my same state. I traveled for this wedding to the beach, to a place where I'm not down there. And it was just nice for me to see, like, oh, this is how they do it in this state, because this is not what I'm used to as far as the coordinators are handling things. Okay. So they wanted to have the ceremony out in the 7th hole of the golf course.
Oh, God.
I said, okay, cool, no problem. Is there power? And they were like, well, we'll need a lapel mic for the officiant too. But no, there is no power. Okay. Now, before I get into any of this, I went away on this trip for this wedding. When I came back home, Belly saw me, and I was on the phone at like 10 o'clock at night, and he was just looking at me like, are you okay? Like, was I losing my shit?
You were losing your shit.
Because it's my job to make sure that the bride and the groom feel no stress.
So he just takes it all on.
I take it all. I had a massage yesterday, and the lady said, "What is the matter with you? What is going on with you? What is wrong with your back? What is happening? How do you have this much tension?" And I said, well, I mean, I do wear all of the stress because, folks, let me just go through this, okay? I have to kind of get in a pissed off rant. Can I have a shot of tequila?
I mean, can someone
I'm
go
serious. I'm serious. Do we have tequila in the house?
I don't know.
Brax, can you make that happen? Can you get us some shots?
Yeah.
I like how it just fires off. We're like, I don't know. Where's the fucking tequila? It's your house.
Yeah, it's my house. Okay, Brax.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
You're just leave it on main. Right. Go get us some tequila if you don't mind.
Dibs on no tequila for me.
Okay.
I have to work today.
I have to ride a one-wheel drunk today, so this is good. Now, Potts, what the fuck, man? How are you gonna have a ceremony in the middle of a goddamn field with no power and you need power? And the answer, and I'm not mad at the bride and groom at all. Again, I will never talk about the bride and groom this way. This is all about logistics, and I want people to learn from this. Dude, they're like...
Was there a wedding planner?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I talked to the wedding planner ahead of time, and I say... okay, so what do you you have power out there, right? Like how, and she goes, no, actually the DJs that usually come here, they usually just use some sort of like, wireless battery pack system. And I was like, okay, so as a venue, you're saying...
So you're telling me all these DJs in this state just have battery packs ready
wireless
to go
battery pack speakers with lapel mics?
I mean, do you say if that's fine, it's an additional charge?
Yes. So that exactly. And I actually, just so you guys know how much I wanted this for the bride and groom, I paid for that. I picked up my own battery powered wireless speaker, which I know you think is crazy, but it's a family friend. I wanted to do something good for them, and I was like, I can use it moving forward. It's not the end of the world. Do we have tequila? Yes. All right.
How much? How much was it?
The speaker?
The battery pack.
It's $180. $180. So,
Okay.
Belly will be pouring us shots. Thank you very much. Social Media Lounge, feel free to drink along. The $100 will be won by the best comment left down below today is what we are doing. The comment that gets the most thumbs ups down below this video up until Friday's show. You have until Friday's show. So comment below this video. Not necessarily in the Social Media Lounge, but comment below, and the comment that gets the most thumbs up, which means go tell your friends about this show, send them this link, and tell them to thumbs up your comment. Okay? Because before we move any further forward, this show's not going to get off the ground if I can't have the help from the Social Media Lounge. They're already doing enough, and we never ask anything from them except for this one time where I'm going to say, listen, you guys are coming at it strong. Now, it's probably not the best idea to do this on the day that Potts just cursed them all out, but maybe, would it be possible if I could ask you this one favor? Please share our show with some friends. Share the link on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Help us get this out because I know it's good. We know you love it, and I need your help. I am asking you. Give me my camera, please. I need you guys. Social Media Lounge, take this link, take our YouTube, and just share it one time. That's all I'm asking you today. See if that can help. I'm begging you. I'm just, if that's possible, look, we'll drink to you. To Social Media Lounge.
Salud.
Shots.
That face. I wish you were on his screen for that.
Oh, God.
He makes it every time.
Fill me up again.
Oh, God.
You're taking shots at 10:30 a.m. from the Social Media Lounge?
Yeah. This is all I have to do today.
Also from the Social Media Lounge.
That was my mom. Yeah. No.
Luch, real talk. I'm worried about this drunk riding habit.
Oh, that's true. I know.
Show me your elbows, Luch.
Yeah, for real. Like, aren't you complaining about how you can't walk?
I gotta actually stop making that joke. That's like making a joke that I'm gonna go drunk driving later. I'm not actually gonna go drunk and wheeling, and I shouldn't be saying that. You're absolutely right. Actually, that's a
What
bad.
the hell are you talking?
No, it's true. You
drunk wheeling is nothing like drunk driving. You're
well,
fine.
no. I'm just saying I'm making the joke, but I don't want to actually say it because, well, yeah, you're right. I probably will go with a little bit of a buzz. But
Luch, this is a comedy show. You can embellish for the sake of humor.
Tell him.
Yes.
Tell him.
Yes.
Tell him.
Behind
so
the
fucking
scenes
vanilla.
today, folks, what Potts just said is the funniest joke to us today because Luch before the show today was like, hey guys, we are in this long run a comedy show. If I say there's 1,000 people waiting at a bus stop, just go with it.
Don't stop me by saying, wait a minute, that's not possible.
You see what I just did there?
Yes,
I embellished it because he actually said 100, but I said 1,000.
I was trying to get on the guys by saying, guys, we do a comedy show. It doesn't always have to be factually correct. We're going for the funny. So if I'm telling a joke or I'm telling a story and I say there's 100 people at a bus stop, don't stop me to say that's not possible. You can't fit 100 people on a bus.
How many buses?
I'm embellishing for the story. And Potts, you're right. It is okay. So I'm at this wedding. Fill me up again. I'm good. One more. Un mas. All right.
And I didn't say anything in the pre-shift, but like I've said that to you before, and you've literally said, "No, I'm not gonna lie to the audience." And I'm like, "But we're trying to like tell it," and you like,
so folks, we've now decided,
and how good this guy is that he feels like he's lying just to tell a joke sometimes, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong to have that trait in a person, but I just thought it was so funny because it's like, well, sometimes you just gotta kind of like roll with it, just for the joke.
I got this title for today's show. It's called "With a Grain of Salt."
For real.
It's not lying. Have you guys seen the movie Big Fish?
Of course.
Real Big Fish. Real Big Fish.
No.
No, that's the
just
band.
Big
It's
Fish.
just Big Fish. Remember the dad who's just, he's a storyteller. Thank you, sir. Scary. Okay. He's a storyteller. So
But
he's
legends
all
never die.
but then the kid is always like, my dad's full of shit. He never told me anything that's true because he's a storyteller who just embellishes things. But the truth of the matter is, he was telling stories from his childhood, and he touched so many people because of those stories. So yes, I might embellish a fact by saying there's 100 people instead of 80. I'm just trying to go for smooth and funny. And so that's, just how it goes. And Potts is right. That's what comedians do. If you think that the jokes comedians are telling are real and true, you're very, very, wrongly, God, that's awful. You're very wrong. So this wedding wanted me to have a powered pack out in the middle of the 7th hole of the golf course, which, by the way, takes like 8 minutes to get. Yeah. That right there. That's a fine. There's no reason for that correction. You get out of here. I'm going to start sending them out.
Yes, we need a penalty box.
We need a penalty box. All right. We steal a lot from the Dan Le Batard show. It's not stealing, it's a tribute. We love them, and we do a lot of stuff from them. So that's where a lot of these jokes
They would
come from.
love a penalty box in the show.
Now,
because we could do some funny stuff in there.
Let's get this off the ground. I was okay. Everything I just feel bad because everything that could have went wrong for these people that was out of their control happened, and it was fine. We still had an amazing time. What happened was I'm setting up for this wedding, which is going to be outside the entire time. It's at the beach. It's in the South, and it is the middle of June. Okay, Potts. It's like this pavilion off the back. It's a golf course, right? So it's the clubhouse for the golf course, and then there's this pavilion on the attached to the back of it with fake walls that are plastic that you can pull down, and they have them all down except for one wall, which means, Belly, what?
You're cooking.
I am in a baking oven this entire time, and I'm there 8 hours early. This is at the top of a 1-lane road, so you have to understand, if you've ever been to the Outer Banks, it's all the way up in Corolla, and it's on a Saturday in the middle of summer, which means that road, there's only one way in and one way out. That backs up for about 2 hours starting at 10 a.m. I have to be there at 3. I am living only at my parents' house. I'm seriously like 15 miles away from this, and it's going to take me at least 2.5 hours if I don't get up there by 12 noon. So I do. And this wedding is going till 11 o'clock at night. You're talking about a 12, 13-hour day.
Oh, weird. I just worked one of those last night.
Yeah, but it's weird, man, when like this is all of the stress is on me. I got to run this thing, and I take it like I'm the wedding planner because I immediately see this wedding planner's got no clue. I mean, she was nice, but she's not running it. She's just doing what she's used to. And that's my problem with wedding planners. You got to have the ability to adapt. So I'm setting up at like 2:30 or something because I'm there from the ass crack of dawn. I don't even have to start until 5. And I hear on the house speakers in the pavilion, this is an emergency broadcast. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for your county, and it should be coming fairly soon this afternoon. Rapidly changing weather is approaching. Now it's blue sky and sunny, but rapidly changing weather is approaching. Brax, shots.
Yeah.
Yeehaw! Cheers, Social Media Lounge.
Does some of that come through your nose?
Oh, so good.
Feel the burn.
I am so bald on camera. Yikes. All right, now. So I'm like, immediately I say to the photographers, like, hey, is there a plan B in case there's the rain? And they go, oh, the bride just said that the chance for rain just went down.
Duh, fucking weather apps.
And I said,
people in their weather apps.
Yeah, and I said, oh, really? Because the radio just had emergency broadcast for rapidly changing weather. Belly, 30 seconds on people with their weather apps.
I mean, I had a lady the other day, like, she wants to sit outside. I'm like, it's literally going to rain in maybe an hour or 2. She's like, no, my weather app here, and this is a really good weather app. It definitely says no sign of rain in the next day.
Potts, is it true that people take their weather?
It rained.
People are more loyal to their weather apps than their own children.
Oh, for sure. I mean, God forbid the weather app lies to you.
You don't trust weathermen or weather women or weather people, but you trust your fucking weather app?
Right. It's not a person, so you can trust it because it's technology. However, I will say, like, guys, we have science on our side now. Like, these apps are pretty good. I'm looking at the radar of where the clouds are.
I'm 80% sure it's already raining.
Okay, so here's what happens. It's 4:30. It's 4:30. It's 4:30. The ceremony starts at 5. I take a golf cart out there, and I'm saying, okay, guys, it's looking pretty, like I'm looking at the radar, and it looks like at 5 o'clock, it's going to just miss us. And then at 5:45, we're going to get dumped. You can see the radar, you can hit play, and the radar will move, right? And you've all done this before. And you can see it at 5 o'clock, it's just going to miss us at the start of the ceremony. But then about 45 minutes later, it's going to dump. It's going to rain.
Yep.
Right? So 4:30, I go out there to get all set up, and then 4:40, the coordinator comes out, and she's like, "Oh, remember we're on the bay, so we're on a hole on the bay," and she goes, "Those look like rain clouds." Yep, absolutely. Yes, and we're 20 minutes from you guys busing the whole 100 people out here in 2 different 50-people buses.
I still can't believe they drove a bus onto a golf course. This doesn't sound like good golf course care.
No, through a community. It's a community. It's a gated community with a golf course. So they were driving the bus on the street up to the 7th hole and then dropping them off and having them walk the football field to the ceremony site across the tee box. And guess what? There's one big tree and there's a rainstorm. Now, what does our common sense say about standing under a huge tree in the middle of an open field in a rainstorm? Terrible idea.
Not good.
So now what happens is it's me and the coordinator out there, and we can see, she's like, I can see the rain coming across the bay, Adam. And I said, yeah, I can see it too.
Wow.
I can see it too. So she calls the bride. I said, can I make a suggestion? Just something that honestly, you didn't ask for, but just my opinion. This is the worst possible timing for this storm, and it's going to look like it's okay, and then we're going to get everybody out here, and there's nowhere for them to go. Are we sure you want to do this? She goes, let me call the groom. And the bride and groom don't know any better. That's what I wanted to say.
And you know what the groom's going to say? Yeah, my wife wanted to do it out there, so that's what we're going to do.
Exactly what he said. What does my wife say? Is she good with it? She's cool with it? Fine.
Yeah, I don't care. As long as my wife's happy.
And here's what I wanted to point out, and then we'll go to break, and then I'll finish this. You guys will be dying laughing. And in fact, I think you're going to leave this show inspired today. I know I was when this happened. But I'm building towards it. Man. You go out, look, if anybody is like even thinking about getting married, if you're about to get engaged or you are engaged and you're looking for a venue, you go out a year before your wedding and you get sold on an idea. They went to this golf course. They saw it. They were like, wow, this is it. This is beautiful. Look at this setting. It's right on the water. And this one beautiful tree on the 7th hole. And then a year goes by, and it's a 50-50 rainstorm. Do you understand that you're asking that bride and groom to give up? And they're not gonna. It's human nature to say, oh, but if we could just squeeze it in. Like, I've been for a year picturing this scene. I'm not giving up on that. Yeah. That's their mindset. So that's where I need coordinator to say, listen, I know you want this. We're about to bus 100 people out in the middle of a golf course in a goddamn rainstorm. Bad idea. There is a time where you need that coordinator to say, this is a bad idea.
Right, sure.
Like, and break that news with confidence that I know you wanted this. We're going to make this so awesome for you anyway. I promise you will leave with a smile on your face. These people are about to get electrocuted. That did not happen. We bust everybody out, and I'll tell you exactly how that went next.
Right now.
Marinate Restaurant puts a unique twist on fast casual dining by starting with only the freshest ingredients to slow cook delicious melodies of taste and colors that are sure to delight your senses. Whether you're craving the Chipotle pulled pork sliders, honey basil chicken tacos, or the infamous kitchen sink wrap, Marinate has something for everybody with tons of vegetarian options too. It's the perfect choice of catering for your offices or events with fast and friendly service from a brand new store on Melrose and Wester. Stop by today, or you can order online at marinateyourlife.com.
Yay for Taco Tuesday! Don't forget, buy one, get one free. All damn day!
Tacos, wraps, sliders, and sides. Slow cooked to perfection at Marinate Restaurant. marinateyourlife.com.
Welcome back, folks! Oh, man! This might be my favorite show yet. I'm just saying, this might be my favorite show yet.
It's because he's lubed up for the strap it on.
Do I have a drinking problem? I only drink like 2 days a week.
No.
But man, I just enjoy it when I do. That's not a problem, is it, Potts?
No, but I like how you're like asking Belly. He's like who goes to bars and drinks by himself just for fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, does Belly have a drinking problem?
Looks like I stick to just beer. No, I never come home drunk. Except for like once in a while.
Welcome back, folks. This is Luch Dog in the Morning, hanging out with you on the channel TTR Studios right here on YouTube. Remember, oh God, there's the drinking coming out. Remember, Best
The best ever psychopath of fruits marinateyourlife.com.
Give it to him.
Give it to him.
Give it to him.
I told Belly in that pre-show meeting that his creative mind is better than mine, and for me to say that is not easy because I believe I'm right up there at the top, and I don't care what I sound like when I say that. He has a creative mind, and I told him, I said, I don't think you're living up to your potential. Stop being so literal and start getting fucking creative. You have the skill. Let me hear Kermit. Kermit, yell at me right now. Kermit, why aren't you being creative?
Listen, I'm gonna be as creative as I want to be, but in reality, I'm only as good as the team that you put around me. The Muppets are not just me. I'm the leader, but I'm nothing without the people I lead.
Like Miss Piggy, what does she think about all this?
Oh, I'll just live my life in singularity and be the star of every show.
Potts, do you see the gold mine that we have that I really just want to start using more in him?
Yeah, I mean, I think Belly's great. I've always been the biggest Belly fan since day one.
He's the star of the One Wheel Show, dude. He's like, I host it. He's the star. No doubt about it.
I'm here for the giggles.
So I'm at this wedding, and yes, as soon as the first bus comes out, everybody starts coming under the tree because it's drizzling. So now I say to the coordinator, or I say to the photographer, excuse me, the coordinator is back by the bus 100 feet over that way, and I say to the photographer, hey, should we all be under this tree in the middle of a golf course in a storm? Just a thought.
If lightning strikes this one tree that's sitting in the middle of this field with all these 100 people under
with a massive battery pack,
we're all gonna die.
With a massive battery packed speaker right underneath it, probably attracting like this is bad news. And within 5 seconds, all of the people started walking back to the bus, and I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" And the coordinator's like, "Guys, come back." Okay, they're calling us back. And she said, I told the bride that there was lightning over the bay, and that was it. And she was like, oh no, bring everybody back. Okay, so we just bust half of your guests out to the seventh hole of the golf course, and then we've got to send them back. This is not the bride or groom's fault. I put this on the coordinator. Yep. This is your job to make sure that you know better than they do.
You got to nip it in the bud.
You got to nip this shit in the bud. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know better than they do. That's why they spend this money on us, is because we have the experience. They don't. This is their only wedding. I do 100 weddings a year. Like, come on, man. So, you know, the problem, Potts, that I was trying to say is I think this is a double-edged sword for me, because I think I do so well in this industry because I view it as a DJ who's a wedding coordinator, and I have a fucking clue of what's going on.
Why don't you start marketing yourself as that, like as a one-stop shop?
I mean, thought about doing that. I don't think I want that stress. I don't want to do all the planning. I don't want any of that.
You already have the stress.
Well, on the day of, but I don't want the month before. Oh, putting it all together, getting all the court. Anyway,
then you'll be on the phone till midnight every night.
At night. But what I'm trying,
then you could hire, and sorry, I'm not trying, but like that's what you get, like kind of like an assistant for, to help, like a wedding. You get a wedding coordinator that you pay to deal with some of the logistics, and they just say, and then they go and say, Adam, are we doing this or this? And then you just pick, they execute. That's what it's for. That's how you build
a horrible idea. If anybody is listening right now and would like to be that person, one woman, one wheel, I would be open to that. One woman, one wheel. What?
That would be really cool.
Calling her out.
All right, we get it. One woman, one wheel.
Hey, who do you want to do this, Adam?
One woman, one wheel.
Copy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Is that your Cookie Monster voice? What the fuck is that?
One woman, one wheel is my favorite person. She's awesome, and she would kill it in that range.
She says, "Is this a job offer?"
This is a job offer, and I know she just made a quick.
He doesn't
life change.
pay well.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. These guys know I don't pay very well at all.
He pays with mac and cheese.
Annie's mac and cheese.
So anyway, we had
not gluten friendly.
We had to bus all these people back, and then we did a half hour of. Her answer was, "We'll do a half hour of cocktail, and then we'll put these people back on the bus and send them back out once the storm clears." Okay.
So now the ground is going to be soaking wet, assuming the storm has cleared.
Not the ground, Potts. The chairs. These people have white wooden chairs sitting out there that are now soaking wet, and guess who's cleaning them off when we go back out there? This guy. I know that. I see that. I have a golf cart with towels in it, And that's why I'm like, you should hire me because I'm not just a DJ. If I see wet chairs and I have a towel, I'm going to go dry them off.
I have a secondary question. Was the grass freshly cut?
It was very freshly cut.
So that means green is getting everywhere on everything, including white dresses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you can imagine. Guys, I haven't even gotten to the ambulance that showed up, the bride who hit herself on the fake wall and cut her face. Like, you have no idea. This wedding, this unbelievable, like this poor bride and groom who did nothing wrong, and they ended up having an amazing time because I wore all the stress. I wore it all. So then, like,
I wore my stress coat, put on my stress pants, tied up my stress tie.
God, I only have 9 minutes. My pacing is a little off because I've been drinking now. However, I will say we did the ceremony. It was awesome. I told you it was going to kind of hit around 5, but then 5:45 or 6, like it's coming, right? So the biggest problem that I had with this is that we did the ceremony. It was great. We came back. We did 30 more minutes of cocktail. We came in. We had dinner. Everybody's having a great time. And during dinner, we actually had to call an ambulance because there was a guy there who looked unbelievably unhealthy. And okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this on air. This happened. I went up to one of the tables at dinner. Give Belly his face right now. This is why he is like the man.
I got it.
What you talking about, Luch?
He's very nervous for me right now because
my eyebrows are up here. I don't know if you can see.
He's very nervous for me right now.
My hairline.
Because I know whenever I say this is borderline. Should I talk about this or not? But this happened. There was a guest at the wedding who was about 35 to 40 years old. He's like my age, and his face was green. Okay, when I saw him in passing, he was green, and I thought, oh, that must be the lighting. But it caught my attention. He's green. Like green, the color green, not like he has a hue. He's green.
Like Kermit the Frog?
Like he is green. And I'm like, that's not right. It has to be the lighting. And I'm working. So I just didn't even think about it. And then I saw him at the reception and he was at the table and he is really green. And then he made, dude, Potts, look, the reason I'm not laughing right now, he made eye contact with me and the whites of his eyes were dark yellow. Like this is I'm talking jaundice. I don't know what just something really, really wrong.
Yeah.
So and to the point where I was maybe 3 feet away from him and he made eye contact with me and I had to look away. And I'm somebody who makes a point to make eye contact. We've talked about that before. I was like, oh, this isn't right. I don't know what that sound is, but yeah, that's what was happening.
It was a frog.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Oh, there were frogs jumping all over my DJ booth in the middle of this whole thing. So that's appropriate. But so after that happened, I went into the clubhouse and I said, I went looking for the photographers because you guys probably don't know this, but at weddings, once the dinner happens, nobody wants pictures taken of themselves eating. So that's when the photographer and the DJ, we go in the back room and we eat dinner. I know where the photographers are and the coordinator. So I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. He's like literally the color of my shirt right now. He is green. And so I walk back into the clubhouse and I see the photographers. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like kicking it. You know, it's like our break. And we're eating an awesome meal. And it's very, very like grateful. We're always grateful for it being fed. And I say, hey, what's up with the guy who's green?
I just want to know what you were eating real quick. Sorry.
Oh, just chicken.
Oh, my. Pots again. Twice. What?
Perfect derail. And I told them about that pre-show. This is a perfect pot.
Diet interests me.
A derail that doesn't matter at all, but it's a minute detail that he has to know.
I'm fairly interested in knowing myself.
Potts, there's nothing wrong with it because the answer that they just said, I don't know if you can hear it over the compression, but we're actually kind of interested in what dinner it was. Your questions are good.
Okay.
But yeah, I was eating I was eating chicken. I had the chicken with the veggies and the mashed potatoes and it was awesome. But
so what's up with the guy that's green?
I said to the photographers, "Hey, what's up with the guy who's green? Did anybody see that?" And they go, "Oh my god, I saw that too. I actually saw him with a beer in his hand." And I was like, "Oh man, are you serious?" And at that moment, a guest at the wedding walks into the back room and he goes, "Hey, does anybody work here?" And we were like, "Well, no, we're working for the wedding, but we're here. We're here to work. What can we do for you?" "Can you call 911? There's somebody having a seizure outside in the lobby." And it was this guy.
Oh, jeez.
I felt horrible. But I mean, guys, it didn't take a genius to say, like,
Someone at that wedding has to know.
That doesn't look right.
Uncle Rob does not look like that normally.
He's not Uncle Rob, Belly. He's your age.
I don't care who he is. I'm just saying in general, like someone in his family line has to say this guy doesn't look
but
right.
I'm worried because
maybe don't go to the wedding and ruin their day. You fuck.
No, take that back. That wasn't his fault. This was like a very, and I'm never gonna tell you to take something back. So you didn't know any better. This was a close, like a nephew of the mother of the bride. This is a close family member that I think has obviously some issues going on, but this was way beyond that. And he ended up having a seizure, and we had to call the ambulance.
Jeez.
And it's my job to then wear that stress and make sure that the 95% of people who are outside don't even know that there's an ambulance here.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. I handle all of it. Now, this is not a brag session. This is me saying, like, I can't believe this all happened, and I wish I had more time to tell the rest of the story.
But you got 4 minutes to tell the best part of the story if you got it.
Can I just go like 4 minutes long today?
I don't care.
Is that possible? This is what happens when I have a shot. Potts, are you okay 4 minutes long?
Yeah, let's hurry.
Okay, I'm on it. So then the problem with this whole situation, now going back to the venue, we're doing the dinner, then the toasts, and then we want to do the cake cutting. And then we're going to open up the dance floor. That's the flow of the night. Now, remember, I'm in a pavilion that you have to walk 20 feet outside to get to the clubhouse. And the coordinator says to me during the toasts, hey, after the last toast, we're going to go right into the cake cutting. So send them inside to the clubhouse, and we'll cut the cake, and then I'll send them back to you. Belly.
You mean the whole fucking party? Does she mean the whole fucking party goes inside for 20 minutes and comes back out and you can't bring the fucking cake outside?
That's exactly what I mean. Now, why, for somebody who's never worked a wedding, why does that drive him crazy, but she can't see the problem in that?
You know how fucking hard it is to move 100 fucking people? It's hard to move 10 people out of a bar at 2 a.m. You're going to move 100 people back inside?
This is why I want to go long, because I know
20 fucking minutes.
I told Belly I'm not going to tell you the details of the story until the show, because it's going to drive you logistically crazy. It's like they didn't think, and I'm not talking about the bride, the groom, the family. Anyway, I'm just talking about the venue.
Damn. Yeah.
Think
so
about
what did
it.
you say?
So as the last toast is going, Potts, one of the venue guys go. Remember, it's toasts, and then send them out into the clubhouse for the cake cutting. As the last toast is going on, some guy from the venue sprints from the clubhouse out, does a slam dunk on one of the fake doors and hangs on it like he's hanging on the rim, but he's hanging on it to pull it down immediately because the trees are going sideways. That storm I was talking about, oh, guess what? It's showing up now. It's showing up now.
So no one can go outside to
so
go to the cake
So
cutting.
it's not raining yet, but it's blowing sideways, and now the last toast was given, and she's going, send him out. Oh, great. Here, go out to the cake. Go ahead. Okay, everybody, meet us in the clubhouse for the cake cutting in the middle of a windstorm. Go ahead. See you guys. I have to turn the music off. See you guys. They all go out. They do the cake cutting, which takes 8 minutes. And in that 8 minutes, it is now dumping rain. Dumping rain. So now they're done. They're standing under the venue like awning. And now 20 feet away, the party starts. I'm DJing for 8 people. They can't get in. They can't come in. It's pouring rain. But the bride wants to hang out with the party, so she tries to run for it. Smacks her head on halfway down awning, and now she's bleeding. Now they got to tend to her. Like, dude, this is all how logistics can fuck something up, man. It's just unbelievable. If you have to stick to your plan. You can't deviate at all. You remember back at 2:30 when your boy was listening to the radio that said this was going to be an emergency broadcast? Thunderstorms are coming. Why is the coordinator not on the same page? Fucking start thinking about this. Maybe bring the cake into the room we're already going to be in. So with all that being said, Brax, can you please get ready for the Google Drive? We're going to end on a wonderful note today.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hold on.
All of this stuff
sounds so defeated right now.
I know, and they should. They should, because all of this stuff is out of our control, but kind of not really, because like if you had just listened to the DJ who would have like easily fixed this for you, that would have been wonderful. Now, however, if you could please go to the very beginning of this. Yeah. This is the part that I said, this should leave you feeling inspired. Potts, when we play the video, remember that your audio is on that audio, like right now. So here, pause that, Brax. No, go back. Brax, stop.
It's on right now.
Brax, kill it! Hit transition. There you go. Okay, bring it back to the beginning. Now, what I'm trying to say is, this is what happened. The groom's brother is deaf and in a wheelchair also. And this kid stole the party. He stole the party. He's the best man. And when we did the introductions, the groom was like, dude, can you make sure that my brother gets like a huge, like has a moment? And I said, you betcha. And this kid, I like, give it up for brother, the best man, Jack. Like I said his name. And then he came out to the middle and on his wheelchair was doing like wheelies and spins and like had his arms up in the air. Like mentally, the kid is all there. He just can't hear anything and he's in a wheelchair. It sucks, man. I felt for him. I used to teach special ed. Like I'm feeling for this kid.
Yeah, it sucks.
Right? I mean, that sucks.
Yeah, it fucking
He's
sucks.
obviously not feeling for himself, which is the best attitude.
Right. I mean, he's clearly just having a good time, like, with whatever's going on. And honestly, like, it was pretty neat to see when the ambulance was coming, he was standing next to me. And I said to him, hey, man, great job on that intro. You killed it on the dance floor. And he can't hear anything. And I forgot he can't hear anything, right? So, Brax, you can go into studio mode and just go back to normal. We'll do the video in about 3 minutes. So what happened? I know I'm going long today. So what happened was, it's worth it. Today is the only day that I think it's worth it. He when I said, hey, you killed on the dance floor, he pulls out his cell phone. He was like, he goes, just pulls out his cell phone, pulls up a notes app, and then says to me, text it. And I texted, you killed it on the dance floor, and then showed it to him. And he was like, fuck yeah, man. And like gave me 5. Like it was heartwarming as fuck. So then this kid now goes into the dance floor, and you can leave it right there. No, leave it there. That's fine. That's fine. What happened, and we'll just leave it on that. What happened is in the middle, now I got everybody, finally the rain stops. They all come back in because I said, fuck it. I'm just going to play amazing songs. Like you're not going to care if you get wet. They all came in. I had the whole party dancing. It was awesome. And this is why you should hire me, because there's nothing that's going to throw me. You could have the worst possible logistics. I'm going to kill it. But this kid comes in and he's having a blast on the dance floor. And I know it means a lot to the groom and his family for this kid to have a good time, his brother. So I said during Usher, which Potts we have already said, this is the best song you could possibly play at a wedding.
I love that song. Right
before, I had this kid who's on stage come up to me and come behind the dance floor or behind the DJ booth. And I said, I put up a note on the computer screen that I typed out. When I tell you to, press the green button. So I went and got him from his wheelchair in the middle of the dance floor. I pulled him behind. I said, come here, follow me. He came behind the DJ booth with me. And then I pointed to the note on my screen that says, when I tell you to, press the green button. And then I pointed at the green button. And he mouths to me now. And I said, not yet. The song ends. It's turned down for what? So the song ends, and I ripped down the music. I said, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for DJ. And I said his name, and then I finger pointed at the green button, and he hit it, and everyone went nuts. Like, dude.
I just got like chills up my spine, dude.
Okay.
That was like crazy.
Like, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, I can't wait to hear how you feel about what happened next. He then points at his sister, hey, take a picture of me behind the DJ booth, because I also have the groom, who's his brother, right there. It's the 3 of us. And so the groom and I are behind him, like giving like the what's up, like peace signs. Yeah. And I say, hold on to the sister. And I take my headphones, these very headphones, and I put them on the kid who's on the wheelchair. And I say, you rock him, dude. You're the DJ right now. And he points at the camera and we get an amazing picture. Now, that's in itself, I actually kind of have goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
But what's unbelievable that happened next, and this is why I'm going long, because it's the only day it's worth it, he starts pointing at his ears. Like this. And he's tapping the headphones. And his sister says, oh my God, he can hear it. He can hear the beat. And I go, oh, no shit. I know what that feels like, because you can kind of hear the pulse of the bass drum. And the whole time before that, he can feel it, really. Yeah. And the whole time before that, I was actually conducting whenever he would look at me, and I was giving him the beat so that he could, with my hands, so that he could bob ahead and enjoy the dancing, because he was out there in the middle of the dance floor fucking cutting it up on his wheelchair. So I was trying to conduct him with the beat. I really wanted this kid to have a good time. And so he's pointing at his ears. I can hear it. So I take these headphones and I unplug them and I ball them up and then I put them in his pocket. So he's wearing the headphones and I say, go out there, dude. Keep the headphones. Have fun on the dance floor. And if you would, Brax, please play the video, because this is the actual video that I took of that moment happening, which I just feel like is the best moment I've ever had as a DJ. Go ahead and play that for the people because I wanted you guys to see this and just enjoy it. Kid's just having the best time. His sister's dancing with him. He's like pointing at the DJ like, look, let's get a dance. Let's get a picture. It's really cool to see that happening and to see somebody who wouldn't necessarily have had that opportunity. Like I don't care if I sound like bragging. I created that. I'm so proud of that. I really am.
Be proud, dude. That's good stuff. That's what you want.
And that's what a DJ can do, you know? Like you're not just hiring a wedding DJ. You're hiring somebody to make this night like the best it could possibly be. I don't know, man.
That's awesome, Luch.
That's
nice
all I
job,
got.
Luch. That's great, Dad.
All right, we got to get out of here. It's enough of me talking about how awesome I am. That one moved me, dude, and I hope it moves you guys. You have the ability to make a difference, even if it's just smiling at somebody who's walking by. Give it a shot. Potts, we got to get out of here. Tell somebody to go fuck themselves.
I'm exhausted after that. Thanks for staying with us, guys. See you Friday. Have a great day, and you can kindly go fuck yourselves.
I love that, dude. Gets up right early from 7 o'clock in the morning just to do this show. Belly, we got to go, dude. What is up with the people? You got to say goodbye.
Goodbye, folks. It was a pleasure having you today. We're glad that you came and always listen. But, man, it was good stuff at the end there, which we appreciate that story. That's a nice in-the-feels kind of moment. So thank you, sir.
You, sir, are welcome. I just thank you to all of you in the social media lounge. Brax and Blue are going to go on a ride. Not drunk, just a little tipsy. Brax, you feel good?
I feel all right.
Let's do it, man. We'll see you guys on Friday. Remember, best comment down below will win the $100 PayPal directly to your account. So tell your friends. Share this, please. I'm begging you, please. Go ahead and share this. Tell your friends to come in and click thumbs up on your comment so you can win $100. We'll see you guys on Friday. It is Luch Dog in the morning.
At